spot in the top 8. He'll be going up against Wrenched when we get over to that top 8. But we still got to figure out who else is going to be in the top 8 winner side. Is it going to be Tempo Storm's Sandstorm or Phazon? Interesting
coming out
picks
on the Noble side, and we have a little bit interesting picks. The Fate pick is a little bit rare for Sandstorm, but definitely not out of the question. And he tweeted, I think, like yesterday or a day before yesterday, that he had his Fate ready to go. But the Artemis pick coming out of Phazon, we've known him to pick some off-meta picks in the past. Of course, he spent a lot of time on Jiro. He was one of the few people, once kind of Val fell a little bit out of favor, and it was like Addy Mestic playing Val, and it was Phazon playing Val.
Yeah. But we're going to get right on into this next one. Phazon and Sandstorm on Demon Island. A little bit of a thematic advantage to maybe Phazon. Actually, I don't. They're both kind of spacey people.
Is this? I guess this kind of looks like space. Is it space, or are you just like
there's
looking
like
at
stars
space?
in the background, you know?
I mean, technically, well, when you're on Earth, you can see stars, but like technically everything's in space.
Yeah. All right. Well, I was just saying, like, it's nighttime. There's stars. I was thinking maybe it's thematic, but also like Fate's the star speaker, so they're both like.
They're both gonna draw power from the stars and the moon.
Yeah, exactly.
Or whatever that little thing is in the top right corner. I don't know. I'm not an artist. I didn't make this match.
But either way, both of them relatively even right now. Phazon, I didn't quite catch the stance. Is he in that speed stance?
I didn't notice. I was looking at past character picks.
Okay.
Once we saw this locked in. Yeah, we haven't seen Phazon report a Lance character in the past year.
No, and the last time he was on a Scythe character was Jiro, and I want to say it was not the longest lived Jiro.
Yeah, the last time he reported a Jiro even. Oh, he played a Mordex at DreamHack Montreal, which was a very long time ago. And then the last time he reported a Jiro was like Summer Championships.
Yeah.
So almost a year ago. Possibly two very unfamiliar weapons. Another case where I want to see the character level. He has the red color, so we can't judge anything based off of that. He's not coming out with white like Sandstorm has, or black, which would indicate a level 15 or a level 25.
But even so, that would be like these account levels, so it wouldn't really hold true. Either way, Phazon is at the advantage right now, has the damage advantage over Sandstorm. And we saw him leaning a little bit more to Lance. Again, Lance kind of popular in the meta right now. We saw Kostlix, but also a few other people picking up that Lance.
And I do like some of the signature options that Phazon will have on the Lance. If you throw out a downlight, a lot of people will jump. I'm a Vrax player. You know I love to throw out that Vrax Lance neutral signature to read a jump, read a dodge up. Phazon will have the Lance neutral signature as well, kind of hitting at that same 45-degree-ish angle, so you can catch jumps with that.
He also was using that the Lance down signature really effectively to cover those corners. Doesn't like dip down the way that a lot of those corner cover moves do, but that forward movement plus that long active frames worked really well for him. Unfortunately, the weapon toss is going to connect for Sandstorm, which means Phazon loses that second stock pretty quickly.
Mentioning just one more thing about the Lance signatures, just to kind of round out that triangle, is the side signature as well. If you know the spacing on it, I would be willing to bet a lot of people are not familiar with the spacing. So if you're the Lance player and you nail that spacing, you're going to catch a lot of people off guard with the distance you can cover. If you dash into it, I think you have a lot of great kill options with that side signature.
It's also nice because it bounces back afterwards, which makes it a little bit safer than some of those like long commitment side signatures on other Lances.
You will have to worry about the dead zone between like the actual big blast. It's not going to be like a Vrax side signature or a Scarlet side signature where you're just kind of get on your Lance and go.
Yeah, you don't quite ride it as long, but we do see Sandstorm reading the movement, hitting the recovery. Phazon pretty far behind now, and that down signature going to throw up, but still not enough.
Demon Island ceiling still high enough to keep Phazon alive.
Just barely goes for a second one. That time will lead to the knockout. Means Sandstorm takes game number 1.
Kind of a big damage difference, almost over 200. It was about 203 between those two players on that. That was Sandstorm. That's basically Sandstorm's last stock. as he came into that very fresh, got the knockout. I don't know if that was a JV2. I didn't happen to notice.
I think he took a little bit of
on
damage.
That final stock.
He took a little bit of damage, but still, Phazon started that one in the lead. Like, it looked like he was even like, I want to say half a stock up on Sandstorm, and then Sandstorm just brought it back. That's the Sandstorm power, is just getting these clean knockouts, not taking a whole lot of damage for them.
And both of them are on the defense stance.
Okay. Yeah, we have seen like the most notable Artemis in my memory was Wilson on the Artemis, as like a straight counter pick against the scythes of Sandstorm and Boomy, and it worked really well. But he also was in that speed stance, just wanted to zoom all over him.
Yeah, he's a player that puts movement speed pretty much above all else, which is quite funny since he came from, at the very beginning, Queen Nine player.
Yeah.
And maybe he's just compensating for that lack of speed that he had at the very beginning. Like, he went through that deficit, is like, I'm never gonna have low movement speed again.
Never gonna catch me sleeping on movement speed. But we do see Phazon going in with the Scythe against the Orb, and it looks like he'll likely switch over to the Lance to go up against Sandstorm's Scythe if he gets the opportunity. Right now, he's stuck on this left side wall. It's up safely. Nice side signature.
Yeah, that's the second time he's done sidelight into side sig. Ooh, there he changes it up!
Soft side light into the neutral signature. Keeping Sandstorm on his toes. Second side signature.
We were going on about the Lance signatures, but man, Phazon is really nailing the Scythe ones.
I really like the down signature. It's really commonly used on the corner, but when people use it on stage, it blasts forward a little bit too, and will definitely catch an opponent off guard.
And it's one of those that like suspiciously lingers. It seems like a little bit too long.
It's that blast dissipating, but we do see Sandstorm able to get that knockout onto Phazon, keeping this one relatively close. He's going to be sticking with the Orb, go up against Phazon's land. 3-piece.
There's the 2-piece. Sandstorm's eating some chicken today. Phazon struggling to find any way.
Finally got a hit. He hit the dare and even had the read that Sandstorm was going to move up, but Sandstorm just had those iframes to get through that side air.
Phazon found the read on the jump there. Ooh, beautiful neutral signature.
Goes for it again. Sandstorm a little bit outside of it.
Nice dare punish coming out from Phazon.
Sandstorm was ready for it. Another side air. Phazon's in trouble. Has to avoid the hit. Gets back to the platform safely.
Ooh.
Nice.
D-Light, gravity cancel, neutral, heavy for the knockout.
A really smart option from Phazon. Recognized that last game he was able to survive because of the high ceilings of this map, so he went for the stronger option of that neutral heavy as opposed to just a straight recovery. Wall touch with that side signature, and it blasts him back, so he's able to get off that wall safely.
Yeah, that's really interesting because I don't think there's very many outcomes where that will actually hit. I would be willing to bet the entire hitbox was like inside the wall, but you're right, that back step that you get after it.
It's kind of like the Petra down signature on Gauntlets, right? Where it like teleports forward, you get the wall touch, and then you're off the wall immediately.
Because if he would have just side aired into the wall or down aired into the wall, like Sandstorm could easily punish that.
Oh yeah. Now we're seeing final stocks. There's the down signature on that Scythe. Gonna keep hitting those side airs. Sandstorm's starting to run out of jumps, but Phazon reads a low move. Sandstorm's able to reset side sig again.
Man.
Player one wins.
What a beautiful ending to that. The dash side sig, like right over that edge, extending deep into that push-off column.
Seeing a lot of signature usage coming out from Phazon in this game number 2.
Well, he can cover a lot of options with it. If you go with the side, I mean, you've seen him use the side light a lot. He went for the side light side sig 2 times in a row. Sandstorm saw he's doing that. Oh, that's his option. Okay, I'm going to jump or I'm going to dodge up. Went immediately for the side light into the neutral sig. Caught Sandstorm with that as well. So whether he goes up, whether he stays where he is, if he goes for a spot dodge, even if he probably dodges away, Phazon has a signature option out of that.
3, 2,
Really smart usage from Phazon. Going to be sticking with the characters this time, changing up the maps though, not going back to Demon Island. Gonna be Mammoth Fortress for game number 3. Sandstorm, first one to pick up a weapon, but Phazon with the unarmed in the first ticks of damage.
Now, Sandstorm wisely choosing this over Demon Island or another map with small walls like Apocalypse or Shipwreck means that those down signatures that Phazon was doing over the edge, or even the dash side signature that he did to win the game at the end, aren't going to be as easy of an option because Sandstorm can just sit lower on the wall.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot safer for him to get back to those walls and a lot less risky coming up. There you see Phazon trying to cover those corners again, and Sandstorm was able to stay lower on that wall.
Maybe that weapon toss was a little bit of a diversion. I know that's the thing that I was looking at, so I wouldn't have seen that side stick coming for sure.
Yeah, it's that dodgeball tech. Good avoidance from Sandstorm, avoids the side signature, which was trying to catch his landing. Trying to make the approach in, both of them in the red. They know how important this first stock is. The clash out. Sandstorm goes for the style with the downlight ground pound. Didn't think he had the KO. Phazon with a turnaround side air.
Phazon with just barely enough movement speed to get away from that side signature. Sandstorm was trying to chase him down on the star. There's the down signature again for the knockout. And Phazon being able to hit signatures for the knockout consistently is fantastic for him. Because Scythe, you don't necessarily have your true kill combo options that you would with like an orb, like a sidelight cider, of course, or the hammer kill options, or now the spear kill options that are even earlier than before, or the numerous other weapons that have those options. And even the sidelight recovery, we see Kosalix sometimes not hit that. So the fact that he's able to kill with signatures means he's killing earlier, and he has a consistent kill option, and one that Sandstorm has to worry about.
Yeah, going back to a point you made in the at the start of this one, though, Phazon is kind of used to that situation, right? He used to play Val and was fairly reliant on side signature for knockouts. So he's no stranger to having weapons that kind of need a signature to finish off stocks.
Now, even though he doesn't have those wall options like he did earlier on Demon Island, he is still a little bit in the lead here against Sandstorm. There's the down air, there's the neutral air. That's one of the few Scythe strings that we've seen coming out from him so far. It's mostly been single hits.
Yeah, he'll get like a move and then go into the signature has generally been what's happening, and then I'll switch it up, go over to this lance. But a nice little extension from Phazon a second ago. That side air. Good spell trouble for Sandstorm. The soft platform's there to help him out. You see him actually ledge cancel a dash into the jump just to immediately touch down and dash away, but the recovery's still not enough for Phazon.
And this weapon combo and the fact that they're with this legend is working really well for Phazon. He's not even really having to worry about the edge game at all. He's throwing out a couple signatures over the edge, but there are no long extended engagements where you don't want to do that against Sandstorm. Being on the edge against Orb, very strong on the edge with the 45-degree bounce angles that it has in the dare, being able to ground pound stall to stay alive, all the things that Orb has on the edge, not to mention Sandstorm's Scythe on the edge, which, I mean, that's won him world championships multiple.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely shown that he is a talented offstage player, but when it comes to the neutral game, Phazon's got the advantage right now. That Scythe, that Lance leading to the knockout with that side signature that you were talking about. Now he's over to the Scythe again. Goes for the read, trying to go for these Scythe extensions. Looks like Phazon's kind of warmed up on his Scythe, feeling more confident, or he's starting to recognize the dodge patterns of Sandstorm so he can go for those longer reads.
Now, you mentioned that Phazon doesn't have to go on the edge because he's winning neutral, and we mentioned Wilson earlier. I think that's very indicative of Wilson as well. He doesn't push things over on the edge. He just goes for, I'm winning in neutral, I'm going to stay winning in neutral.
Yeah, when you're winning in something, why do it different? Don't fix what ain't broke. UC Sandstorm was able to even it up, though. Phazon not able to extend his lead by building any damage on this final stock before he lost his second one.
Phazon being very careful with his spacing right now. Sandstorm doing a good job of zoning him out, making him a little bit scared of initiation. He hasn't found a hit in quite some time. Sandstorm definitely taking the lead here.
Phazon a little bit struggling against this orb play from Sandstorm. Finally opens him up with the weapon toss. It only really gets a neutralite as a follow-up.
And this is fantastic evidence of adaptation coming out from Sandstorm. And I think because this is a best-of-5 set going forward, because they're 1-1, this could be rough for Phazon. Oh, he's not able to punish that.
Sandstorm had nothing left in the tank except for that gravity cancel side signature, but Phazon was not ready for it, and the down air bounces off the wall. Sandstorm steals it and takes game number 3.
No character swap coming out from Phazon. He's going to stick with this one, possibly until the bitter end here.
Didn't like those map bans.
Oh, is Sandstorm actually changing? We see that he's backed out of actually locking in a legend. Going to Petra.
Okay, yeah, I kind of was leaning towards a orb character. That made a lot of sense considering how well his orb worked. And the Petra, it's got the gauntlets carry over to his Mordex, which is kind of like his famed character, right? Like in the Hall of Fame of Sandstorm characters, Mordex is probably the one in the back on top of it, and holes in the rope. Make sure you can't get too close.
Now, last time we saw one of his Petra picks was like at DreamHack Rotterdam, so it has been a little bit of time, but he also played Fate that tournament, another orb character, played Fate at BCX, so he still had that orb experience carrying over from multiple tournaments in a row, winter championships, also played Fate, played Dusk as well, so he's had a ton of orb practice that I had forgotten about.
Yeah, it's not a weapon that you usually think about. Like, if you think about Sandstorm, you think about Scythe, Gauntlets, and probably Cannon before you'll think about his orb.
Yeah, and I didn't remember him playing Dusk either. There's, it's sort of, Dusk is getting like a little bit of a resurgence, going from like Zico being the only person playing him to like having 3 or 4 players now.
Ooh, but Phazon not going to be deterred by this changing characters from Sandstorm. Catches him with that neutral signature.
Now, we did see the adaptation that Sandstorm had before, and it wasn't until game 3 that he found the adaptation. Now, he is starting not from 0 here like he did at the beginning of the set against Phazon, because he still has the orb carryover. So let's just say he's starting at 50%. He has a game to lose, so he definitely has time to counter adapt to the things Phazon is doing against this Petra pick.
But also, like, this was his counter. Like, this was him adapting to Phazon. Nice down signature. Oh my goodness, teleported behind Phazon. Nothing personal, kid. Got him with the down signature to keep the stocks even.
Phazon just really... Oh, never mind. He's not struggling. He's not worried about it. There's the weapon toss. Didn't touch. Man, just like that in the blink of an eye. Phazon with a huge lead when it was looking like he was struggling with ways to get in on Sandstorm and ways to keep Sandstorm away from him.
I mean, that's the power of such a neutral heavy playstyle, right? Is the one time that you decide to go off stage, the opponent will not be expecting it.
Of course, he has the Lance ground pound, which has a ton of force on it. He's able to follow up with the weapon toss, keeping Sandstorm away from the wall. Like, you see how long that Lance is. That can cover a lot of lateral space.
Yeah, those weapon tosses, very effective. But right now, Sandstorm trying to stay inside this, wants to get the stock off of Phazon. He knows he lost that last one pretty quick.
Signatures coming out from Phazon. That side signature gets punished. Sandstorm was behind him, so it's really not difficult to punish that if you're in the right spot.
Sandstorm does get the knockout with that neutral signature. Now it's on to Phazon with this Scythe. We haven't seen those Scythe extensions coming out from Phazon. He's been trying to get some longer string stuff.
Side coming out, gets the dodge to get away from Sandstorm's downlight. Weapon toss just barely hits Phazon. In comes Sandstorm.
Trading blow for blow. Sandstorm a little bit behind. He does have Petra, a very high strength character, so he could find his way back in this one. But suddenly Phazon's got the Lance. A Lance is very good against Gauntlets.
I tell you what, the second half of this game feels so much longer than the first half. Like, we're already 3 minutes and 15 seconds into this game, and it feels like 99% of that was the second half of this game.
The pace just like halted to a stop. Now they're finally on their final stocks, deep red. The weapon toss connects. Phazon
sets him up. Sets him up real good. No, weapon toss again. Oh, Phazon. Okay, all right. All right, he had it under control.
Okay. I mean, you and I both were nervous when he had forced all these options out of Sandstorm. He had the weapon toss. He had the weapon in hand. He was in prime position, and then he backed off, and he was like, I'm sticking to this game plan of being on stage and winning the new works for him, that down signature on the corner.
And you could see it reflected in their damage numbers, 507 to 508. They were both last hit red in that game. Man, that basically couldn't be any closer.
That's less damage than most weapon tosses.
Yep.
We're going to game number 5. This is a fight for top 8. They haven't even made it there yet. They're trying to get the final spot in the winner's side of top 8. Is it going to be Phazon on this Artemis, or is it going to be Sandstorm after the swap to the Petra?
Really thinking about this map that they want to go to. Crystal Temple, small walls. Apocalypse, small walls. But it's going to be Mammoth Fortress. When it seemed like the small walls were on Phazon's side earlier, he's electing to the largest walls that were left of Mammoth Fortress.
It's possible that the soft platforms were the reason behind that. The Mammoth Fortress also has a soft platform, but it's not consistently above the main platform the way that it is on Apocalypse and the Crystal Temple.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I hate those platforms on Crystal Temple. They're like at just the right height to be irritating all the time.
Dude, the number of times I have ledge canceled a dash out of hit stun when I wanted to dodge out and gotten hit because of it, like, oh my goodness. Sandstorm though, taking the advantage.
Yeah, really solid lead going into this. Has Phazon without a weapon. One comes in, Phazon's able to dodge through, pick up the scythe. Nice downlight. Tries to go for the turnaround down signature. I don't know what exactly would have transpired where that would have happened. Even like a dodge in coming from Sandstorm, I don't think that would have hit. If it was like a chase dodge, he would have been able to cover that much distance. But obviously after getting hit, Sandstorm's not going to have a chase dodge.
I almost think that's Phazon not being super comfortable with the character, not recognizing that it won't slide charge. And like, I think he was trying to slide charge down the way that he was like positioned on that corner.
Also, it could have just been a simple misinput.
True. Very possible. But we do see
we accidentally
Sandstorm
pressed the wrong direction.
Full stock up onto Phazon. This is a massive lead for him.
How crazy is it, though, that Sandstorm and Phazon are in a Game 5 situation here before top 8? That's insane.
Sandstorm, our current world champion, getting taken to Game 5, about to get taken to his second stock alongside Phazon, but Phazon's still taking quite a bit of damage here.
Phazon maybe kicking himself just a little bit for going into defense stance instead of strength stance. That neutral signature would have killed.
Now he needs another signature. Has to find the read. Sandstorm staying low right now. Side sig connects.
There's the side sig from the middle of the stage. Knocks out. Weapon toss going up. Juggling coming out.
Oh, and he's going to be sticking with the scythe. Interesting option. Nice spacing from Phazon.
A lot of whiff moves coming out from both players. Then you saw the clash. Phazon hitting 2, 3.
Risky spot, but Sandstorm lets him get up.
Ooh, nice. Again, 3 hit from Phazon.
He's climbing
narrowing this lead. Yeah, definitely narrowing the lead quite a bit. There's the dare.
Phazon's trying to play so incredibly safe. He's waiting for Sandstorm to make these approaches and then punish him. But Sandstorm is still finding a couple of hits, which is all he needs. As we saw that recovery almost take out Phazon at the top.
But before that, he wasn't finding knockout moves. You were seeing multiple signatures coming out. All of those were missing. He threw out a couple downlights. Those were missing. It was only really his dares. Until he hit that recovery, those dares that were hitting, that's not going to be your knockout option unless he's over on the edge. And if the rest of this set is any indication, Phazon's not going to be spending much time over on the edge.
He'll maybe go once more to the edge, but generally be staying on stage. That side air not even going to put Sandstorm off screen. Open toss. Ooh, recovery.
Reading exactly when Phazon was going to come over out of that edge. Thinking went for the fast fall into the recovery to get low enough so that if Phazon just peeked over the corner, the recovery was still going to be low enough to hit.
Again, Sandstorm stuck in that position of needing to find that one signature to lead to the knockout.
Ooh, this is not looking good for Phazon.
This is trouble. This is a lot of damage being built up by Sandstorm. Finally, the side air will do it. Phazon, he's still forced to this position of having to play very safe, limit the amount of damage he takes, and then get that one signature.
Ooh, he has to keep Sandstorm weapon starved.
Yeah. Oh, got the
but he's going to dash jump away from it. Sidelight side air. He's in knockout range. You see Sandstorm moving over to the edge. Phazon use the active input on Dare. Swap Sandstorm's position.
Trying to read the fastball. Sandstorm goes above it. Now it's back to the gauntlets for Sandstorm. Oh no, the side
Ooh, that's going to be it. Man, game 5 is going to go to Sandstorm. The set is going to go to Sandstorm. He keeps himself in it when at some points it was looking really dire for him. But what a performance from Phazon. That was really, really good.
He really dragged it to the distance. That does mean Sandstorm